What's up, Juventus? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. And Weah set to stay now for the sale of Alberto Costa. Do we finally have maybe a move for Douglas Luiz? What are we doing in the midfield? We've got some situations all over the place, but it's for sure that Kamoli now, it's housekeeping time. And now the test begins for Kamoli. And we also have a new technical director that I think many mistook for sporting director based on the reactions, but we actually do have news at sporting director as well today. There's a lot to chat about, and we're going to get into it all right now. I got Trim with me. I got Omer with me. Fellas, hope we find you well today. Omer, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm great. Phenomenal, I might say. A week packed with nothing. That's how it felt with the news. Just absolutely stacked with
packed
nothing.
with my favorite, the hypotheticals. I love working the hypotheticals and seeing how we can turn this mercado around and figuring out what we should do. And I've got an interesting thought. I'm probably going to be on my own with this opinion today, but I don't care because I always fire it out. But Trim, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be back. A couple weeks off after our big shindig in Philly. As you can see, getting pretty excited, ready for this guy to join the team. Just hope that Dushan can finally hand over the number and we can, get things rolling. So,
yeah, we've been talking for like 10, 15 minutes. I didn't see it.
Yes,
it's
shady writing, but got to give my wife credit. She tried her best, because I can't. My chicken scratch wouldn't look as good as that, but
there you go. David's got the 9. Everybody official here in Trim's room. There, love it. Now, there's a lot of ways we can start to show. Well, let's take care of some business here. First up, we had a legend's birthday. Obviously, this past week, a heavenly birthday to the one and only Gianluca Vialli. And obviously, Juve puts out a release in tribute of Gianluca Vialli. I got to say, guys, I am an easy sell, okay? And I love Gianluca Vialli. But I found this set pretty underwhelming. I don't know. Just me? What do you guys say? Like, the track jacket's probably the closest thing that I think is tops because of the crest being a good size, the old school logo. But the other ones, it's like, here's a microscopic logo for you right under your neck. And then just like a Vialli signature. I don't know. I was expecting more for a tribute for him. And it kind of looks like Team Sweden gear. For all our Swedish friends, you'll love this, whatnot. But who are we kidding? I'm still going to pick up the hoodie. Just because I wear hoodies all the time. But I think the track jacket's probably the ideal piece. Trim, what'd you think of this set on its release?
So it's funny you mentioned the logo size because that's actually like I didn't take that into account. Like I was gonna say I wouldn't mind the hoodie for sure, and probably even like the training shirt. The jacket I don't mind. I tend to always I'm more of a hoodie guy, but yeah, it's I don't mind it personally, but I understand like they could have jazz it up a bit more. They could have changed it up a bit more and added more to it instead of just making it like really plain. Like you said, it looks like Team Sweden's like curling team's gear that they're coming out with their curling rods and everything ready to go.
I like sorry here. Is Skanga designing these? What's going on? Omer, what do you think about this set?
I think it's cool. I think it's nice. Like it's something I would wear. I have no issues. I don't have anything missing. The colors are fine. I mean, I think they did a good job with this one. I like it.
Like I said, I mean, it's Vialli. I will pick something up. I'm going to grab probably the hoodie just because I wear hoodies the most. But I just think it could, like, I don't know. I was expecting more. Like, I was expecting some to be like, oh, that is awesome. Like that it does. It just.
I'm waiting for the third kit to come out, and then I'll order one of these and the third kit.
Yeah, then you have... Joe Cappuccino, who I think bought the entire set, like he's going to Del Boca Vista, so he's going to be full track assembly here. But yeah, and I mean, I think the feeling is pretty much consistent because, like, I mean, usually when they hit, the stuff's gone, like right away, and
Oh yeah.
It's not even close to selling out or anything like that. So you should be just fine to wait for that kit release. Now, more news, everybody. And I mean, my bad, everybody. You know, we're in the off season. I'm not doing these live shows as much. I gotta say what's up to everybody. Cugino, Eddie, Swarid, Dragons 8, AU, Brian S. What's up, everybody? Forza Juve in here. Let's go. Great to see you guys in here. Great to have you on the live. Now, the second piece of business that we heard about was Giorgione, part owner of LAFC. And some fans said, this is weird. And others said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not that I'm worried. It just feels weird. But what was your initial reactions? Nothing at all? Or were you kind of wondering, why now type thing? Omer, why don't you kick us off on this Chiellini thing?
Well, first when I saw it, I didn't think much of it. I don't think much of it now, to be honest. Like, Chiellini has always been a smart guy, and he always planned ahead, and he definitely made it clear that he wants to be part of football even after his retirement, and he's just been super involved even before starting to work with Juve. So it doesn't really like shock me, but it is surprising to see. I don't know how big his part is, and like we talked about in the green room, is he like up for board meetings now, and is this like a second job, or do they call him once in a while for some advice and he just collects his shares and whatever? So we'll have to see. A bit weird, yeah, but not like the be all end all.
Yeah. And Trim, what were your initial gut reactions on that?
Yeah, so initially I actually had to do a double take because I saw it and then I didn't realize it said like welcome to ownership, and I was like, wait, what? This is kind of weird. It was just the timing because he just took the role with us. So I think it's more of that than anything. I would say to fans, or I'd caution fans to don't make a big deal out of it, just because again, it's almost like he just wants a piece of the pie for that, right? And I know we kind of jokingly talked about it in the green room, and I was saying how he obviously must have loved the lifestyle, the beach and everything over there, that he's like, you know what, I could see myself maybe kicking it here for a bit longer and trying to extend the stay, maybe just own a piece of the team, and who knows, maybe he's still got a house back there. You never know, right? Stuff like that. But I wouldn't overreact, that's for sure.
It's cool for the LA fans and everything. There's a huge base of Juventini in Los Angeles. It's cool for them to have Giorgio as part of their team. The LAFC fans are actually very passionate if you're going to talk about MLS fan bases and whatnot. It's just, I think the only thing that's weird is the fact that we don't actually know the extent of both roles. Not this thing with LA, but even just with us. Is he actually going to get everything that the media was talking about? Is he actually that involved even with us? Is this just solely business? Or does he have the intentions of more? Will the passion that he spoke so much about with LA take over, and maybe he's more drawn to that avenue? We don't know. Time will tell. But for now, he's part owner of LAFC while working with us. And there's no doubt in my mind that he's a smart enough guy. I'm not worried about conflict of interest, anything like that whatsoever. I just thought the timing was a bit strange. But some fans started saying it's just wild to have somebody in our office at that level buying another team. But for me, I'm not really seeing it as that aggressive or that big a thing. So to each their own. Now we get to our office. We've got a technical director hired. Francois Modesto hired. Yesterday, confirmed, all the outlets, he's technical director. I had messages and people like, what? Why this guy? What? I'm like, it's a technical director. Do we know anything about a technical director or what technical director you want? I'm like, it's just a technical director. That's it. It's not a sporting director. This guy started as a chief scout, I believe, with Olympiacos in 2017 in Greece. 2 years later, went to Nottingham Forest to be their technical director. 3 years after that, Monza for the same role, technical director, and now to us. A technical director's roles, It's essentially you're the right-hand man of the coach and the players, and you're that bridge to upper management, to the sporting director, to them. That's really all he is. If I'll give you an idea, an example of a technical director. Tudor says, I want McKennie to stop eating cheeseburgers. Okay, technical director to the food sector. Hey, this guy, no more hamburgers, okay? I want him starting doing bench presses more. Okay, hey, to the gym guys, McKennie needs to bench more. That's a technical director. Stuff like that. It ain't that big a deal. So, Francois Modesto has been chosen by Comolli, and there we are. Now.
Well, you think he just came in and they told him, like, you're technically a director, so get to work and that's it.
Yeah.
He's just been a technical director everywhere. I don't know the guy. I mean, technical director is kind of a nothing role. Like, I don't know if you have any effects in decisions the team make. Like you said, it just whatever the coach asks, he has to be the one who makes sure it happens. That's about it.
Yeah. That's all there is. So for this one, we can't make a whole bunch into it. But there are still fans frustrated with the sporting director, one not being hired. We have news on that today. So the news on that is that Tognozzi's name is picking up steam again, and that the return is potentially there. I've said it all along because people were ragging me on daily update videos being like, man, nothing's going to happen. We don't have a sporting director. I'm like, do you honestly think that I started saying it a while ago that Comolli's going to work this mercato and then we are going to hire a sporting director? And honestly, like, Comolli's done all these jobs. He's been a coach, a scout, a chief scout, a technical director, a sport. This guy's done it all. Do we honestly think that he was not willing or didn't realize that, hey, yeah, you know what? I don't want to rush into hire. This guy's running off data sheets, man. You don't make decisions in a haste when you're an Excel wizard. He's analyzing everything. We're not hiring a sporting director like that. So for me, I was always prepared for him to run the mercato. So it's no surprise to me. But Tognozzi, how would you feel about Tognozzi returning and being our sporting director? Is that the guy that we should be looking at? Trim.
Well, so I think it's a no-brainer, and I was thinking it when his name originally popped up, but I think what happened was we all got spooked and scared off because there was the rumor of him going to Arsenal. So I guess, obviously it hasn't happened, he's not there, and if his name's popping up again, then we still have a shot, still have a chance. I think it's a no-brainer just because you could see it, the talents that he had acquired for us to bring into next gen when he was with us, right? Yildiz and Hoyson and Sule and all these guys that a lot of us are not happy with the big club getting rid of, right? Yildiz is obviously the only one that's remained, but some of those other guys, like we've moved, Dilling Jr., so on and so forth. So, I mean, clearly the guy's got an eye for talent. And I mean, I didn't really track him because I forget which team he went to just recently in the Spanish league. He was just over there for a little bit as a sporting director as well.
Yeah, it didn't last too long. I can't remember the team. Do you remember the club, Omer?
I can't remember.
No, not at the top of my head.
But it would have been nice to just kind of see, like, did they sign anyone during the couple transfer windows that he was there for and took over and kind of track that? But again, either way, we saw what he could do with us here in the short time that he was with us with Next Gen. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I think he was the obvious choice of all the guys that were kind of named, just because we had him in-house. If he was willing to come back, why not? So I think it's a pretty easy decision to look towards him if he's willing to come.
Yeah, and Mirko Di Natale right now is throwing out some hints at maybe Ottolini is the one that's going to be coming in, but we'll see. Omer, what would you think about Tognozzi returning as a sporting director role?
I don't know. I have PTSD from Paratici, like this great, awesome scout that was just awful at being a sporting director. He just wanted everything shiny and he didn't really know how to build a team. But that has nothing to do with Tognozzi. Just PTSD I have from last time we tried it out. So it might work out great. He might need someone to hold his hand like Marotta used to do. and someone to call the shots. But I was sure he's already at Arsenal. Like, I didn't know he was still an option even. I kind of let his name go after they said he wouldn't be here. So I don't know. Maybe it's fine. I hope it's going to be fine.
If I
like, I don't want to put Paratici's. Yeah,
it's tough. It's like the Arsenal fans there were some of their fan channels and everything getting hyped up for Tognozzi because of that scouting report, because right now he's got a CV because of all these young guys that he found for us. And he did go. So we've got Girona put out there in the chat, but we also have Granada. So I'm not 100% sure which one. I'm trying to find it here. And it was Granada. It was Granada. So thank you to the chat there. That's the place he went. And it was November, 1st, 2023. So for the 23-24 season, and in February of 24-25, it was over for that role, sporting director there. Very, very short-lived, so we have nothing really to go at. His other sporting director history is way back from like, and we're talking about like clubs like Pontevedra, Rossignano, and this is like 2008s, 2010s type stuff. Other than that, he's been scout at Zenit, scout at Hamburg, scout at Leverkusen, and then scout with us from 2017 to 2023, obviously. Yeah, Omer hits the nail on the head when you're talking about a PTSD from Paratici. Can he do this? Can he do the roles? Meanwhile, you have some other candidates, Ottolini being one, that have the history, that have been doing it. It's tough. We tend to gravitate towards our own. And Tognozzi would be seen, because of his history with Juventus, 6 seasons, 7 as one of our own. And him should have been getting the promotion within as well. But there are risks with that. And obviously Paratici, a great one to point out.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's a tough decision to make. I could see why they're taking their time with it. Tognozzi, I mean, from a scouting perspective, I like where he's at. Paratici, we had no issues with him scouting either. But when he came in and started doing the job, it was a lot of flash and a hell of a lot of patchwork. So we can't use scouting to sporting director because it's only one piece of the sporting director role. So very, very tough. But I would be fine, I think, ultimately with Tognozzi. Ottolini I'd probably be fine with. I think Sartori is the one that you need to attack with everything. Personally, that would be where I would be just trying to do whatever to take him away. And I'd love to give that club one of these and take their director. But is what it is. Now, getting away from the office, getting to the business, we got to get into the whole Alberto Costa sale. Okay? And this kind of came up out of the blue. You literally, for days leading up to it, Alberto Costa's getting offers. Juve's rejecting all offers. They have zero intention of selling him. 3 days in a row. It's like they were just fucking doing one of these and then the slow reel. Or maybe they're not even real. Maybe they're just trolling and they're just cruising around and they just got that line out there waiting. Because after 3 days of hearing that, boom, he's going to Sporting, according to Di Marzio, and then Alfredo Pedula coming in right after, and he's like, yeah, they're considering it. 20 million is the price tag, and that gives them the ability to wrap up the Chico Conceição deal. Immediate answer, we've got the poll running right here, like just immediate check. Should Juve sell Alberto? 31% yes, 69% no right now, currently on the poll. Your immediate gut reaction, should Juve sell Alberto Costa? Just looking at just that right now, just gut reaction when you saw that headline, and then we'll get into the details to follow. But would you sell Alberto Costa right now, Omer? No?
Immediate no. That was an immediate no for me.
Yeah. Trim, would you sell Alberto Costa?
No. Immediate gut reaction was no.
And what was your immediate gut reaction based off? Was it performance? Was it play? Was it just the logistics? What made you say no immediately?
Well, something between the way he played and the fact that we can't get over the 20 million price tag for anyone. Like other teams can get below 30 and we can seem to get above 20. Like that's the max we can get for a player. And I liked him. Obviously not the finished product, but I saw some spark there and some drive that I liked. I think he had good performances. Got to remember that's someone we got in January. And even when we got him, Mota refused to play him for like 2.5 months. So we got, 3 months of him playing. Tudor liked him. I liked him too. I think there's a lot to work with. And I do think he has a good future ahead of him. So that deal doesn't really make sense, especially when like the Weah rumors to Marseille are heating up and now they're slowing down. I don't know. It's just something about this feels off, but I hope it pays off in the end. Obviously, I don't know the plans forward. Maybe this will unlock a bunch of transfers later on. But right now, as it stands, I don't like that deal at all.
Yeah. And Trim, what made you say no immediate on gut reaction?
Mostly what Omar said, so I don't want to repeat and just echo his sentiments. But at the same time, the other side of it was I just feel like anytime Juve get interest in one of their players from another club, I almost feel like our gut reaction is always, okay, the first guy that gets an offer, we're just going to put him out there and sell him. And like that feeling for me just, it bothers me so much because like you're just trying to sell guys for the sake of selling and making some profit and money to then, okay, I understand you have to turn around and purchase players to add to our squad depth, but it's like there are certain players that you should know that you shouldn't sell. For example, in this case, Costa, because you just got him, he's young, there's a lot of untapped potential there, and he could be a useful player. So it's like just because a team's offering 20 million doesn't mean you just have to say, okay, accept it just because they're the first team that's actually made an offer for one of our players. And that's the sense that I've been getting lately because we've been hearing and we've been discussing, all of us, about how there's a whole lot of rumors, but a whole lot of nothing actually happening because nobody's actually really making any offers, or at least not that I've heard. And I haven't heard us reject any offers, right? So it's like, I just feel like it's like a quick, just get rid of someone for the sake. You know?
Everybody's, like teams in general are just weighing out all their options right now. It's early days of the mercado. It's day 12. Like there's no need to panic on anybody unless it's some of the guys that have crazy interest. Yeah. So everybody starts bringing up now, well, that's the difference in getting Chico Conceição. That's the difference in this. It doesn't make it right to sell Costa at 20 million euros. It doesn't. He didn't cost us 12.5. He did, but there's add-ons. There's add-ons that take it to over 15 million euros. There's also a sell-on clause for Vitória. So what the hell are we doing? It's just a stupid sale. The value needs to be there. So you look at your other players. Weah has an agreement with Marseille. That is the sale to make. That unlocks everything. They were ready to sell Weah for 15, 16 million euros. And Mbangula for 8. Now they're saying they want 30 million for both of them. That's closer to where you should be.
It's better.
Yeah. Weah on today's market value is a 22 to 25 million player. If you sell him for there, which is fair value for Timothy Weah on today's market, that gives you more than enough money to sign Chico, to wrap that up, and also to attack another player because of the capital, because of what he stands us remaining on the books. It's just, it doesn't make sense to move Costa right now. You're shooting yourself in the foot. His value isn't going to drop from 20, no matter how he does next year, unless he absolutely plummets. It's stupid. And you say nobody is paying 25 for Weah? Well, just wait. Just wait, because what do you think Weah would be sold to us if we were shopping right now in Italy? Or Marseille, etc. There's no breaks coming our way, and fans seem to just devalue all our players, yet we look for players that are equal or worse, and teams hit us with those price tags. My thing is, I'm done with this team. Like, we have a squad full of rotational players. If you're not making a serious jump in quality, you don't even have to move. So stay put with it. Because right now we need starters. We don't need more rotational guys. It's useless. And when it comes to Chico Conceição and Porto, they can fight, whatever. We're 2 million apart. 22 million. They want 25. We're going to go to 24. But it's silly to sell this kid that's got upward trajectory and shoot yourself in the foot with the deal. We have to stop shooting ourselves in the foot with the deals. And we have to start having some fucking balls in the price tags we set on our players and stop devaluing them. It's stupid. Ederson at 60 is not a 60 million fucking player. Like, these guys are pricing these guys all over the place. And we're seeing... You're telling me Retegi is worth... Did they just get 70. 68 for him or something?
Yeah, close to 70. Yeah.
Are you telling me he's a 68? He is not. He is not. Sancho, 25. Okay, yeah, cool. People believe that, whatever. Nobody jumping on him. The Spurs turned him down for 17. What are we talking about here? Like, it's just fight your fight on your prices. He's got an agreement with Marseille. Marseille wants Weah. Use that. Use that. And if it works out that you start at 22 and it works its way down to 18, it is what it is. But even at 18, my point stands. Even if you take the lowball offer on Weah, you get like 3 times the capital you would on this move for Costa. So what makes most sense to you?
But I will say, like, a lot of it, I mean, tomorrow it could be Juve are not interested in selling Alberto Costa. He's untouchable. Like, we can see this news coming tomorrow. It already happened. We've been in the transfer market for like a week, but it feels like a month and a half at least of Juve have gotten on players and off players. I don't know how many players are not even mentioned anymore. So I want to give the benefit of the doubt to this new management until the deals are finalized. Even Jonathan David eventually was a lot less worse than what we expected and what was reported. And that was actually a very good deal. So I'm always like thinking maybe that's just how the media portray it. And eventually when we see the deal, it's a lot better than what we actually think.
And here's
like
the thing,
they like to vilify you.
It's all speculation. Nobody's saying this stuff's going to happen 100%. But it's a hypothetical. If they go through with this move, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just...
Like I said, I don't like it. I don't like the move. I want to keep him, period.
The whole point of getting the books right was so that you're not handcuffed. I've been saying this, I don't know, week in, week out. You gotta give Comoli the freedom. If you're John Elkann, you gotta bite the bullet on the bullshit that you've put like, it's just the next guy has to deal with it. The next guy has to deal with it. Like, these guys like Artur, like, just cut the cord, cut your losses. And what are we doing? We're spending time wasted on these guys. Just say goodbye. Say your goodbyes. Okay? And another guy that's on that list is Kostic. And now we're hearing that Kostic is potentially staying. Is that part of this plan? Costa leaving because Kostic all of a sudden has convinced Tudor that he could be useful in a rotational squad?
Wait, is that something the media said, or is that some connection, fans made?
No, I'm just saying.
In general.
I'm just saying in general. If you're looking at selling Costa, who's your fullbacks? You've got Cambiasso, You've got Kalulu, who should be getting used there. And you're going to have Kostic, I guess, play there. Savona, for me, is not a fullback. And he's not a wing back in this role.
Maybe Cabal.
Cabal?
And that's it.
What about
even before Costa,
Gutierrez?
we had to buy someone. Like, even before Costa or Weah leaves, we have to buy someone no matter what.
Trim, what were you gonna make a point here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, unless they turn that Costa sale into Gutierrez, which I know that our good friend Mirko Di Natale kind of put that out there. I think yesterday we tweeted that out. So I mean, if they turn that into Miguel Gutierrez, then that's a different story. It softens the blow a bit, but still, ideally you want to keep both. Like, you want to keep Costa and add Gutierrez, right, and get rid of Kostic. Why keep Kostic? That's why. So me personally, I'm not buying the Kostic stuff. I think he's going to end up going. I get that Tudor says he has an appreciation for him and he likes him. He's impressed. I think someone will come in, maybe offer a loan, and then Juve will take it.
Here's the thing. When I heard the potential of Kostic remaining this season, I immediately had to start looking at things. Immediately. So I found that there is Tails Alinea Space Facility in Turin. All right. And I'm currently looking in on what it's going to take fund-wise to strap this motherfucker to a rocket and send that fucker into space, because there is no chance that we should be looking in 2025 to have Kostic any part of this goddamn squad. Like, seriously, what the hell are we doing? It's over. It's over. And I'm done wasting my time in this shit. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with it. Okay? Yeah. The thing is here, and Mikel Heidebe's always fighting this, books are in order. He's like, because they look better in one quarter. No, it's not. Right now, what you're seeing is you have a roster of too many friggin' names, and they realize that it's down in quality. Yeah. Naturally, if you want to boost your squad, you have to say goodbye to some guys. You have to make the room. We might run into a situation where, yet again, we can't. But they're going to drop their pants on sales. My point is, don't drop your pants on the sales you don't need to. Young, promising, talented players will sell. Alberto Costa would sell. If you want to sell him, make it the right price. Don't give in. The guys you need to give in when you're selling are going to be guys like Kostic, like Artur, like even Vlahovic in that situation. Because the Vlahovic thing is an absolute mess. And he's got no desire to go to Saudi Arabia. He's got no desire to go there. He's got no interest. Why do you think that they're thinking about termination? Because him and his agent have finally flipped a switch in their little brains there that's like, hey, you know what? Nobody's going to come for us even at 25 million and this salary. It's the only way we're going to get taken seriously and get some decent offers. Yeah, that's the only way. Now
it just feels like a Ferris wheel for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, where the guys who need to leave stay, and the guys who need to stay leave.
Yeah, big time.
It's been like that for a while, and that's why we kind of hate it. Yeah, because it's like this shit again.
It's annoying. It's over and over and over, and you've still got yourself in a position where, yeah, there's players that, you know, have this value, but they're the guys that shouldn't be the ones moving. And that's the point they're trying to make today. That, like, you can't settle and you can't be like, oh yeah, take 20 million. That's a good price for Alberto. It would be if half of that was going to be capital, but that's not the case. You're staring down the barrel of taking like 3 something in capital.
Just look at our defense. I mean, our defense is a huge billboard saying we should have kept at least one. From all the defenders who's been through here in the past, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, none left, and all the guys that are starting are guys we bought, basically. Not your Romero's, Dragushins, and all those guys.
And if you're looking at Timothy Weah and shooting down his value or where it should be, I mean, you got to look at minutes and production, and I'd probably say minutes at the attack minutes in the actual attacking positions earlier on in the season and everything, and then he moved to wing back, etc. But you start looking at the numbers in that range when he was playing at the attack there for Juve, who scored like a weak amount of goals this past season. And then start looking around at some of these price tags for attackers out there that honestly are like double the price. It's crazy. It's crazy. But even if, like I said, we lowball, even if you take 17, 18 on Weah, which I don't think you should, but I say he's 20 to 22, even pushing 25. I'd start at 25, but he's 20 to 22 all day on the market. All day. Mbangula, like 8 million euros? Mbangula, 8 million euros?
That's crazy.
Absolutely not.
What are we talking about, you guys? 8 million for Mbangula? No chance.
No, that's low balling Juve.
Yeah, really low.
8 million. I'm at a loss here, you guys. And I don't know if it's because this isn't a new problem. Okay? Juve's notoriously been bad at selling. We have been. You know? Thank you. Elanga just went 55 million pounds.
Yeah.
And people are trying to tell me that Weah isn't a 22 million player. Are you kidding me? Mbangula at 8 million? This isn't a new problem, is my point. This is something that's been notorious for Juve for quite some time. Like, now I feel like as fans, we've just like accepted that, you know, like, oh yeah, no, and we just automatically, yeah, this player's only worth this player's only worth this. Like, we got to snap out of it. You got to snap out of it, and this team has to snap out of it and start to have a spine in how they deal. We try to get raked over the coals, left, right, and center. Raked over the coals over all these deals. Well, it's time for us to start doing that and having a little pushback. Now that there is some reprieve and that weight of debt is kind of relieved, like, relax. Relax. I don't actually think this Mercato needs to be as insane as many feel. But Mikel also brings up, you know, Huijsen, Romero, De Ligt, Dragusin, etc. I mean, the list goes on guys that were undervalued in moves, right? What do you think those guys, when, like, it just, we have to push back at some point. Mm-hmm. So there are guys you can do that with. There are guys you can't. Mbangula, for me, represents a player that you can push back for with a price. Anybody wants Mbangula after a good showing for him this season, strong numbers, strong production in very limited minutes. Yeah, yep. Price goes up if you want him. Kostic, of course the price doesn't go up. Weah, though, put forth a good season. You look at the market value, look at these other guys' values. Yeah, 22. All day. All day. Miretti. Napoli have sights on Miretti right now. I asked the question in our army chat just to see where everybody stands. And I'll ask everybody here in the chat too. What do you think the value on Fabio Miretti should be? Trim, what do you think his value should be?
I would say to anybody other than the Italian teams, 25 to 30. If we're going in Serie A, 40. 40 and nothing less.
Okay.
And even still, I wouldn't sell him to Napoli. No way.
Yeah, fair, man. More than fair.
No way.
Give them the day. Omer, what's his value? What would you value Miretti for?
Outside of Italy, 15, 18, pushing 20. Inside Italy, if we're talking Napoli, I don't mind him as a if that was opens the door to Osimhen, it doesn't seem likely right now. Yeah, give him a value of, I don't know, 20, 25. If they want to buy him outright, nothing below 30.
Yeah, for me, Miretti's going to be in that 22 million wheelhouse. 22 million wheelhouse. For Napoli, 45. You can have him for 40, 45. Bologna, 40 million. Bologna, you can have him.
Yeah.
Screw these guys. Screw these guys.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like for me, it's when you start to get north of 25, 30, like for example, some of those bigger clubs like a Genoa who is interested in him, that prices them out of the market, but that's not our problem. Like this is just what it is. If you don't have the money, then sack up. And this is coming from me. Like I want to actually keep Miretti. I'm probably one of the few that I see a role for him in this club, even if it is a rotational piece in the midfield. Like he could play a role for us, but I get it. They're looking at the capital. So, but it's just for those smaller clubs.
Yeah, but the money trickles down. I mean, sooner or later, some of those clubs are gonna feel the financial burden of not dealing with Juve, because that we are the ones buying their players. I'm not talking about Atalanta and Napoli who sell outside of Italy mostly, but those Genoas, Bolognas, and all those guys, they've been really reliant on money coming from Juve for their players, and eventually they're gonna feel it.
Yeah,
because we are
so
basically
for Atalanta,
the only ones
how much? I love this from Nick. For Atalanta, how much for Miretti and Winter? 80 million for Atalanta. Screw them. But there's an honest discussion to be had about Miretti, because if we look at our midfield and you're trying to move, like the McKennie situation is pretty much frozen now. He had an agreement through Giuntoli. Now, all of a sudden, agent fees are an issue for Comoli, apparently, according to reports. But one way or another, it's on a standstill. You've got Douglas Luiz. There's a little bit of a break there, as Douglas Luiz is claiming, there's claims that West Ham is ready to make an offer that's 10 million on loan with 30 million obligation on the back side of it. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. We have to kind of look at the midfield. Should we be keeping Miretti going into next season?
On one side, I want to say yes, because he's still a Juve academy player, and maybe there is a really good player there. I just don't see where he fits the way Tudor plays. I don't want him as part of a double pivot, and I don't want him occupying like two of the attacking midfielder roles that Yildiz and Conceição used to occupy. I don't know. I just don't see where he fits in this system now.
I think where you're trying to force feed Coop is exactly where Miretti would shine, personally.
I don't want Coop there either, by the way.
Yeah, but that's exactly where Miretti should be playing. And it's pretty much spot on to where he had a solid season on loan. The other thing we have to ask ourselves is, what's the point of these loans? Like, when the guys do exactly what they're supposed to do, essentially that's a time to give them a check, and you don't lose anything by bringing Miretti in for a year and using him as a rotational piece coming off the bench. That'd be a good piece, rather than force feeding somebody who just doesn't work at that position. Furthermore, some of the other guys that are actual forwards aren't offering enough, and that's why they're on the block too, like Nico Gonzalez, and there is an update there. We also have an update right now from Mirko Di Natale claiming there's new contacts for Jadon Sancho, so let's hold on here, but because we got to keep going with the midfield. McKennie, would you keep him around? He's going into a final year. If there's no extension found, would you still keep him around?
No.
I actually might.
McKennie's a weird one. Like, I like him. I like the energy he brings. I like what he offers to the club, and still I have no problem letting him go.
Yeah.
He's a weird player for me.
It's finally time to move on from Big Mac. I would sell Big Mac. The thing is you're going to need a little bit of you're still going to need a little bit of depth. If you're selling Weah, if we get that deal done, I would push to get the Weah deal done, because it's got a healthy amount of capital. It allows you to do something, right? And with McKennie, even if he doesn't extend, we don't get that extension, I probably might still keep him around because I don't see any team coming in that he's going to be interested in going to. So that's a situation where I'm kind of like, are we going to spend a bunch of time doing the same thing we've done the past 3 years and only come out with like teams out of Turkey or just teams that he doesn't want to go to? We're wasting our time. So to make nothing but have that guy as a utility again this season, I might actually do that.
The problem, I don't feel like he's been a utility player, to be honest. Like, no, he is a utility player. He's not a rotational player. I mean, every coach we had kind of really liked him and used him no matter what. He pushed him somewhere,
on the coach.
And
that's on the coach.
Beyond the point of it makes sense. Even sometimes when he plays really bad and just seems tired or things aren't working out, he still keeps his place. He's rarely subbed out. And I don't know why it is. I mean, it was with Allegri, Mota, and even Tudor really, really likes playing him all the time. You know, benching players who should be playing some of those positions. That's the issue I kind of have with him. It's not due to his fault. Like, he's...
Well, that's on them, though. But the fact remains, you got to have somebody in the squad that's able to fill multiple gaps should that happen through injury.
Exactly.
For me,
exactly. That's my problem.
I'm not really weighing out. I don't think he's going to get the interest in the market that it's going to be a team that he wants to go to. I think we're going to run into the same thing. So for me, even if there's no extension, I'm probably okay with keeping him around, and then at the end of next season he just walks. I'm fine because I don't see some gain there unless somebody comes out of the woodworks that is a team he wants to go to that's like, okay, yeah, we're good to go. Well then, yeah, I'll take the capital and I'll move on from him. But I'm fine to keep him through and say goodbye at the end of next season. Trim, what scenario are you pushing for a sale, or are you fine even with my scenario there?
Well, so this is what I was just going to bring up. So I personally wouldn't mind seeing Weston go. I was actually on the train of the last couple seasons, just like everybody else. Like every summer, it seems like the last 3-4 years that, you know, we're trying to look to move him. And it never materialized. He went on loan to Leeds that 1 year and came back after a pretty bad showing there. But what I was just going to bring up is, so because we keep going back and forth between one or the other, between Weston or Weah. Now, I want to paint a scenario. What happens if, let's say you're right, Al, there's no interest in McKennie. I like Weah, and I actually think, call me crazy, call me Canadian bias, but he played with David, and he actually played up top in a winger role or winger position, forward position with David, and they've got some chemistry. So I have a scenario where, what if we sell Nico and you sell Luiz? That's 2 guys off the current roster. You want to keep some depth around. Why couldn't we keep Weah and McKennie as depth options? I mean, both guys are clearly content with that role. It's not like they're pushing for starter minutes. So if both guys are willing to stay, I can see a scenario where you can integrate Weah as a forward up top to rotate with Colo and David. They've got some chemistry there. And then, yeah, you sell Nico, you sell Luiz, and there you go. And then you can bring in a couple of other bodies as replacements for those guys, right? But
because the issue is that those other 2 moves generate nothing for capital.
And Weah and McKennie, well, more so
they
Weah,
would.
I guess.
If you move them, they definitely bring in capital. So that's the issue.
That's the biggest thing, yeah.
Because those are break-even moves because you just brought both those guys in. The amortization hasn't hit anywhere near enough where we could make something on Luiz or even Nico Gonzalez. So you're just trying to break even and not take a capital hit on those moves, right? That's the issue. And that's what they're facing with Weah. And I was not surprised to hear Weah come out quickly. And it's why when we did our list, like, I don't know, before the Mercado started, of guys that you think it's time to say goodbye, these guys were popping up because these guys have a market and they will bring capital, right? Weah's been number 1 on the list for a while for me. I'm okay keeping him, but who else is leaving to bring in some money, right? Weston McKennie, I just don't think he's going to agree to any of the teams that come forth for him. For Nico Gonzalez, he's price tagged at 30 million euros. There are rumors now Saudi teams are coming in, but will Nico want to go there? We wait and see. Like I said, Douglas Luiz, that whole hypothetical on him, 10 million loan, 30 obligation. These Prem teams that make so much fucking money, buy him outright. Like, let's go. What are we, 10 million loan, 30 obligation? Just pay. We want 40 now. You want him, take it. Like, come on. Stop playing games. So push back. And that's all I'm saying is, for God's sakes, we know everybody's situation. Like, have some pushback. For Weston McKennie, those saying that his salary does not reflect someone that could be in rotation, he makes 3.7 gross a year. So it's 3.7 gross. It's the same as Rugani. Scary thing is Lloyd Kelly makes more than both of them. But 3.7 gross. Lord. 3.7 gross for Weston McKennie. Yeah, it's actually, 3.2 Weston McKennie. 3.2. Yeah, is what it is. Kelly needs to be attempted to be sold for whatever. And again, same thing, same situation. You ain't looking for capital in those moves. So the midfield's a tricky situation. This whole thing that came out, Kamoli wants 7 signings after Jonathan David. If Pedin leaves, Caprile. Henchko, Laporte, Leone, Balerdi listed as the center back options. At fullback, you have Gutierrez. You have Dodo. Who else was out there? Nuno Tavares. You got all these names. Bissouma, Hulman, Florentino Luis, Xhaka. Up top, Colo, Chico, Sancho. 7 signings. I ain't seeing it.
Well,
guys,
can we just call it 5? Because, like, I don't know. I just think Colo and Chico are Juve players. Like, I know they're not technically, but I think we will figure out a way to get those done.
I think you just get those 2 over the line. And, like, let's get Colo, let's get Chico. Outside of that, I'd be happy bringing in Laporte.
Yeah.
On a cheap deal, okay? Bring in Laporte. Find Kelly a home anywhere on this planet that is in Turin, okay? Rugani, I say you keep him. I know I've been harping for 2 center backs and all this, but there's a long list of guys back there. And there's some guys I don't necessarily want to sail, and I don't really see Kalulu as a center back. In a back 3, in a back 4. I don't see him as a center back. I see him as an outside player all day. All day, every day, twice on Sunday. And even there, I have some things with him. But obviously, we retained him. We're keeping him. Bring in one. Bring in Laporte. In the middle of the park, a lot of these names do nothing for me. But Xhaka does. And I know that a lot of people say he's washed like this, whatever. He's a pain in the ass to play against. He's a pain in the ass player to play against. He's a smart player. He's a good player. 32 on a 2-year deal. We need experience. And we need a little bit of a change up there. Laporte and Xhaka coming in. Get some experience, guys. Because like I said, when you have a team full of rotation, like rotational players, squad players we call it, I'm not interested in bringing in more squad players. It does nothing for me. I'll take the squad players we have now, but bring me something that's different to what we have. Bring me some experience to this side. Don't go crazy. Laporte, Xhaka, retain Colo and Chico. You already got Jonathan David. Say some goodbyes. Do some housekeeping and let's move. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Xhaka is a name I like. I mean, I hated the guy because he was a pain in the ass to play against, especially for Switzerland. But he does come from 2 very high-tempoed leagues, so his energy is like way better than any guy on our team. I think he can be a good, like sub for Luca which we don't have like a real sub for him at the moment. He's got some long shots on him, which is something we're sorely missing from midfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has a lot of added value, not to mention everything you said with the experience and everything. He's the kind of player who gives a team some sort of character, which we've been lacking. So I wouldn't mind taking him at all. I would actually love it.
Yeah, and there's many that'll tell you Xhaka's going to sit Locatelli. So, you know what? I'm all for it. I don't care. Like, bring me... And that's the type of move I want. I want to hear about guys coming in that are going to sit the guys that we have down.
Yeah.
Because if we're finishing, scrambling for fourth, I don't have a problem in saying, yeah, we're going to sign this guy. He's going to sit so-and-so. Good. I hope he does. And then I hope that the guys that get sat can fight, and claw for their way back, because that is what is sorely missing. You've got a team that's full of squad, rotational guys, and a lot of guys that seem to not give a shit about it. And that's where I have problems. So out of the names, out of the list, I don't think we need to get crazy in the market. And this is another reason why, if I'm looking at this thing, and if we can agree that we're good with a couple moves like that are cheap, Laporte's like rumored at 20 million.
Yeah.
In order to say goodbye. Xhaka's like rumored at 18. Like, man, those are moves we should be looking at and jumping on right now, instead of trying to break the bank on some of these crazy moves and just get that quality up. Get that quality up. Even if it's slowly, it makes a difference. You can't do it all in 1 year. But rotational guys for rotational guys, like Dodo, I don't want to hear about Dodo. And they want 30 million.
No. I don't want Dodo.
No, that dumb bird.
You never forget it.
Absolutely not.
You remember what I just said about devaluing our players? 30 million for Dodo. And again,
that's a
perfect
Conference
example.
League legend there.
We are scared to ask for 25 for Miretti, and they want 30 for Dodo. We can't be scared. Don't be scared. Have a spine. Move. Now, Kamoli, what I like is that what I'm hearing, word on the street is, he's actually pretty solid dude, is what I'm hearing. Like he is team oriented and he's not going to take shit from anybody. That's what I'm hearing. And again, let's just wait and see, because these are all rumors. So like I said, nobody's judging. We're talking about hypotheticals. I will judge on finalized business though. So until that happens, we can't judge. I'm not going to judge on rumors. And even if we say goodbye to Costa, what's on the back end of it? Let's see. But I still think the timing is off and I don't like the numbers, but let's see what comes after it. I will judge him on the finalized business. So these are just hypotheticals we're talking about. And everybody's got to realize that, hey, it's Mercado season. It happens every year. Take it with a grain of salt. We talk about it. We discuss the hypotheticals, but we don't get crazy about it. And what I find hilarious is that when people combat a certain opinion about a hypothetical, that's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's okay. Why? But then they just pull out media reports from somebody else. And I'm like, okay, so now you're choosing to believe something that suits a narrative. So at the end of the day, we're all still talking about the same thing. It's the same hypotheticals being thrown around. And I absolutely love the fact that Giorgio Chiellini came out in an interview and sat there and said, oh yeah, the media, you guys just want to write about stuff. You want to sell papers. You got to sell papers. We just laugh about it in the back. 2 days later, Jonathan David is signed, despite what he had said and the fact that the media was all over Jonathan David. It's funny. This shit doesn't come out of thin air, everybody. People are talking. They're talking. Kamoli likes to keep secrets. He likes to work secretively, apparently. Well, let's see, because that's something I've thought about. Because has anybody else wondered why pretty much all of the target list is like the same guys other than like 3 names? Has anybody wondered why like it's pretty much all guys that were linked previously with Giuntoli? Makes you think that he's probably got names that haven't even been touched yet by media that they don't know about yet.
Well, it does seem to aim to the French market a lot more.
Yeah.
Like some of them, but there are players out there that I'm kind of shocked we weren't linked with them. We're not even testing the waters. That shouldn't be like those overhyped guys who cost too many millions. Like, why didn't we call Sociedad and ask about Kubo, or Brighton and ask about Mitoma? I think Brahim Diaz would be phenomenal for Juve the way we play right now. That position, those 2 positions up front, I think it suits him perfectly. Like, there are names out there who shouldn't have like the Juve tax and the luxury attached to them because they played for this and that team. So yeah, it's kind of weird that we're still hearing the same names. Berardi name keeps popping up, Orsolini here and there, while there are like tons of other options who are doing great for their clubs and maybe are ready to take the next step. And it kind of annoys me.
It makes you think a couple things, like they're still working with some of the guys that were around previously and looking at who they had, and maybe he's analyzing, but I still think that there's going to be guys that haven't even been touched on by media at all because they don't know. He's probably bringing some names that he was eyeing up there, but I think he's got to be careful too because, again, the objectives are night and day, and doing well at Toulouse, with no disrespect intended to them, is not doing well at Juventus. So yeah, Ricci was one. My God, I would have loved for us to go in there on Ricci. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what has to happen. But we can't judge the guy until some final business is done. The only final piece of business so far is Jonathan David. I like the signing. Yeah, we go from there. We see. Meanwhile, Yildiz gets the cover of FC 26. He's one of the ambassadors. Okay, well, he won't get the cover, but he's one of the ambassadors along 5 or 6 other players. And Barca shooting their shot. What a bunch of clowns. Oh my God. We gotta get to this. This is like, so total Barca coming out here. Agreeing personal terms with Kenan Yildiz would not be a problem. It would be a dream move for the player. Barca are analyzing the deal, but know that it would have to include Araujo. Let's see. Well, I responded to this with my own tweet, and I said, I'll give you something to see. One of these. There. That's all you need to see. But, Omer, this really hit a nerve with you, hey?
I don't want to say hit a nerve. It's just the audacity to post something like that. It's just the arrogance. Yeah, because nothing about this is real. Nothing about this is attached to reality. It's just something to get the clicks, basically, which is unfair to Barca fans and to, I don't want to say Juve fans because why would they care? But still, it's annoying because we've been following Yildiz and we read every word he said in the interview. We watch all his videos. I mean, the guy is definitely all in on Juve right now. So, saying agreeing personal terms will not be a problem and all you need is Araujo. And then you read the comments and it's like, it's so delusional and out of touch with reality that it annoys me. Yeah.
30 million plus Araujo is what some of their fans are saying. Holy shit. Where are you coming up with the rest? Yeah. Where are you coming up with the rest? You're about 120 mil shy, everybody. Oh,
I mean, they're gonna pay us with grass from their stadium. They can't sign players each year. They battle it out to sign a few players, make them eligible.
Oh yeah,
for
I love
the
some
league.
of the comments that say, for what? So he can't get registered and sit out a year? Like, fuck, just clowns, man. Clowns. We had to give it to them though. But anyways, the news on him is that obviously nothing has changed, and I couldn't believe. Like you get this level of panic, this level of fear, because there were so many DMs and there were so many messages like Yildiz. I'm like, there are no Yildiz updates, everybody. That's why I haven't put him in a video for like 4 days. And they're like, well, this account, whatever. I go, fuck that account. Fuck them. I go, like, nothing has changed. Have I said anything has changed? Nothing has changed. I go, even like some of the weakest sources we could throw out there are saying the same thing, that like Yildiz and Juve don't want to break. Nothing is happening. It's going to get a contract extension. He's going to be close to 5 million salary. He's at like 1.7 right now. He's going to hit 4.7 minimum. Nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. So I have this many concerns about Kenan Yildiz.
Did you see a source? Did you see a source on that post?
No.
No, I said on which post?
On the Barca.
No, there was no post. It's just literally like that account talking out their ass.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's all you need to know.
I mean, and I said it in the green room. I go, I'm just gonna put out a post at Lamine Yamal. It would be a dream move to join Juventus, and all it's gonna take. We know we would have to sacrifice Lloyd Kelly, but apparently somebody already beat me to the punch with the same thing. So yeah, it's just they're talking out their ass. But everybody, no worries with Kenan Yildiz there. We just I don't think we have as much work to do, like in the mercado, that we need to get crazy. And I hate seeing this team just undersell and get no favors. Nobody's doing us any favors. We need to stop doing them favors. Like, it's over. You want this guy? Yeah, great. Here you go. And like Trim said, like Miretti, I wouldn't even sell to Napoli. Too bad.
Nope.
Too bad. So sad. Nope. No chance. Oh, yeah, you know what? He's got actually a release clause. Yeah, his release clause is only 18 million. Good news for you. But, it doesn't apply in Italy. So 75 if you want him. Otherwise, there's the door. Go fuck yourselves. Like, I'm done. And then they have the audacity. When we get taken advantage of, and we allow it to happen, and we just shoot ourselves in the foot with these deals, they have the audacity to still talk shit in the media every fucking opportunity they get about Juve. And that's the part that pisses me off the most. And we've allowed it to happen for so long. And it's like, you know what? No. Too bad. Like, they don't realize that when the league was garbage, where the money was coming from, and who was signing who, and who was bringing in all the dollars. Juve went out and signed Ronaldo. What did the other so-called big team in Italy do? They brought in Lukaku. Is that a counterpart to Ronaldo? Lukaku? That was the counterpart to Ronaldo? And then, sadly, we couldn't even take advantage of that because of COVID. And we couldn't even take advantage of the revenue. And that was a shame. But these guys are all clowns, and Juve needs to stop doing them fucking favors. Enough's enough. Storm the barn. Get the likes up, everybody. Let's go. We're rocking in here. What do you make of a striking tandem? David and Colo, if it happens. I think it could be good enough for Serie A. Oh, I'd have a different argument. But Trim, Colo, and Jonathan David. We kind of talked about it when he signed, right? So,
yeah, obviously I'm biased because I like David, but I just, in general, I think, like, being realistic, I think he alone will surprise people in what he can do playmaking wise and setting up his teammates around him. Now, the biggest thing that I've been getting pushback with David is, but how is he going to get the service from the players in the midfield? And I can understand and I can see that, but until I see it on the field, I'm not so concerned about it because I've seen David play enough that I know that he creates and generates. And, we've gone back and forth and I've heard different conversations about, him with Canada and this and that. And I get it. But the point is that he's coming to a better club with better squad players. So I think they'll help each other out a lot. I'd like to see another striker signed as well, just for rotation, so that it's just not the two of them. But it just gives Tudor the option of playing the two of them together. You can also play Colo as the lone 9 and drop David back and play him as one of the attacking mids if they decide to do that as well. So I think that it'll be good enough for now, but I'd still like to see another player added up top as a rotational piece.
Okay. And Omer, what do you think about Colo and David as a tandem?
Should be interesting. I just don't see how it works out, because then you have to move to like a two striker system. So that rules out the rest of the attack. I don't see how it fits. So no, I would rather go with the three up top. Maybe have it like, as an option late in games, but I don't want you going into games like that. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Might work
My
out.
thoughts on Colo and David is I wouldn't say it's going to be good enough for Serie A. I think it's actually going to be very good. Very good. How it's going to work in the attack is that you'll have freedom because Jonathan David has played as one of those support roles behind a striker. He can play in tandem as well. I think the only thing that tandem really lacks is physicality. And probably some serious size aerial threat. That's really the only thing that tandem's lacking. Outside of that, though, Jonathan David, for a guy his size, height-wise, 5'10", whatever, actually still plays fairly physical and doesn't back away from it. I've criticized Kolo Muani a bit this past season in certain games where he was shying away from the physical stuff, but Jonathan David won't do that. I actually see a system that could be created potentially that offers like an insane amount of fluidity when you throw Kenan Yildiz into the mix, because Kolo Muani, Jonathan David, Kenan Yildiz will all go anywhere and everywhere they have to. Wherever the space presents itself, they'll go there, and they'll do so naturally. Like, when you're talking about we're going to obviously bring up Dusan Vlahovic because he's been our striker, but when he gets out onto the wide position, because that's where the play takes him or the space takes him, it's a dead end route and nothing's going to come from that there. We have the potential with these three guys to never really have that problem. And no matter how they work it out or wherever they find themselves, they'll be able to do something. David is a guy that can create for himself. So is Kolo Muani. Your creation issues should, in theory, everybody, kind of not be so heightened because you don't have a guy that's super dependent on service. And I just think that it has the potential to be very, very good. And based on the options that we have out there, that's the route I would go. I would look at keeping Kolo Muani. You have Jonathan David. I'd like to see Chico Conceição retain. But I'd also like to see us get somebody that is physical, just to have that off the bench. Say goodbye to Milik. Cut the damn cord already. And get somebody that is physical and probably bigger, just so you have that in games where you are going to need it. That's all. That's my thoughts anyways. So Insigne on a free? Absolutely not. He's probably going to go to Bologna since they got Berna, Immobile. They're trying to put together that Euro winning squad. I think, was today the actual anniversary of that Euro victory? Was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
I still get a kick out of Donnarumma not realizing the shootout was over and walking away, and ended up accidentally in one of the coldest moments ever, where he's just walking away and he's like, didn't even realize it was over. He's like, yeah. And I was like, man, that's so good.
And
so good.
And 2 days ago was the day we signed Ronaldo. Which, however it panned out, that was a fucking awesome day, man.
That was wild. That was wild, man. Signing CR, but again, you remember when Agnelli was asked about it, and they said, looking back, would you have done it? And he said 100 times over, yes, you give me Ronaldo, but take away COVID. Is that how you guys feel? Looking back on everything?
Absolutely. Yeah. COVID killed everything we planned. Everything.
Yeah, like how can nobody could have predicted that happening, right? So it's like that just came out of left field. But having the opportunity to sign, if not the world's greatest player, the one of the world's greatest players, it's a no-brainer, because who knows where we would have gone after that.
Yeah, I mean, at that point in time, too, I always said it, like, you thought you were one piece away, from, some Champions League glory, and who on earth would bet against him not being the piece, right? And then COVID just made a mess of it. We couldn't afford anything anywhere, but we were always running in the red, too. It's a tough one, but yeah, at that point in time, if you were thinking that wasn't going to be a massive shift, yeah, you would have had to have taken that chance. Everybody was so hyped up. That was crazy. I didn't even believe it for the longest time. I remember that day, and it was hidden, and I'm like, I don't think this is happening. Is this actually going down? Like, I had people that don't even talk to me about football were like messaging me and texting me like, Juve signed Ronaldo. I was like, I don't believe it. Like, it's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
A few weeks earlier, I think it was Monblano said that Agnelli has approved, or Elkan has approved the signing of Gareth Bale, and I was like, no fucking way, no way we're getting Bale. and then like 2 weeks after we signed Ronaldo, that was absolutely insane. Yeah. It was a crazy day. Like, I was just hooked on Twitter, following flights, and every photo from, I don't know, just random planes in the sky can post and say that's
was Ronaldo's that the first flight tracker? I think that was the first flight tracker.
Had to have been, yeah. For sure.
Wild.
Yeah.
That was great. And I always said, looking back on the time too, is like, it was almost sad. It was almost like a shame that you couldn't truly enjoy having a guy of that caliber at your team because of all the nonsense around it, right? Mm-hmm. Like,
and it forced Juve to do things that would not have happened. Like, if there's no COVID, Juve don't sign Pirlo as a manager. You don't get the Pjanic Arthur deal. Like, it literally killed all our plans, and those waters were too deep for Paratici to navigate.
Yeah.
And we were in court a few years later on some of those deals. So yeah, definitely killed us.
Well, they're nonsense and chasing shit. And by the way, there was Amazon Prime was to air something around Calciopoli, and it was supposed to come out in 3 days from now, and it was a non-biased investigation into everything that went down. And this was by an Italian gentleman. He's got no ties to any clubs. Like, he just literally, I'm going to go through everything, look at it all. I had this all done. It was all documented. Everything's shot. Everything's complete. And literally just yesterday announced that Prime has canceled the release of this.
Convenient.
3 days prior to coming out. And it just, makes you think, hey? Makes you think. 20 years on beyond the fact, and they're still scared. Fucking jokes. Now, are you happy? You know what? They get it. They hit those clocks anyways. Are you happy to have a forward line consisting of Yildiz, David, and Coleman? Well, we kind of just answered that. We need a real goal scorer instead of Kolomuani. We can do better. Jonathan David should be considered a real goal scorer.
But he's not, apparently.
It's a little bit I mean,
I don't like that comparison, but going back to the Conte years, 2 years he had not prolific goal scorers, and in Matri and Quagliarella, I think Matri finished as our top scorer with 11 goals. Then the season after it was Vidal with 10, and up until Tevez we didn't, and we won almost everything we could. We just dominate the league. So I don't need strikers to score 30-something goals a season. We can do well without them.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to completely disagree with you, Cugino Eddie. Say he's not a real goal scorer. We need a body like Luca. Are you calling Luca a real goal scorer in comparison to Jonathan David? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. What are we talking about? Luca, I'll accept as a rotational player, but the disrespect to David is insane, man. The guy's got the big guys in a target. Luca's not on the list, okay? He's not on the list of big guys that were available at striker this summer. Okay? Jonathan David was. And if you look at the numbers of all those other guys, I said, guess who's right there with him? Jonathan David. But guess who's got like 4 years running on consistency? Jonathan David. He should be considered a real goal scorer, guys. Like, seriously. And you know what's funny, too? If you look at Vlahovic has played 100... I'm pretty sure he's had 145 appearances. He's got 58 goals in 145 appearances, which is nothing to like... Like, that's a decent rate. It's not shameful. It's not disgraceful. I think there are many other things that created the situation, but his rate isn't a problem. Everything else was a problem, and there's a lot of other problems, but that's why I'm not overly concerned about Jonathan David coming in and not being a real goal. Like, the problems we've had with Vlahovic, I don't see happening with Jonathan David. And rate, still, obviously, amongst all the garbage with Vlahovic, scoring rate still wasn't a thing. And if you look at the sitters he's absolutely missed, Vlahovic would have an even better rate.
I just think,
go ahead.
As a whole, I just think his composure, you're going to, like, for the people who are doubting David, right off the hop, the one thing you're going to notice is this guy's composure. I mean, people were crying about the fact that he did not smile when he arrived in Torino. You're going to see him on the field with that same just like deadpan look, and he's just going to put in the work. So it's
the Iceman.
It's the composure.
Stone Cold John David.
To go along with, like,
Sub-Zero.
he's not going to be Capocannonieri. That's not what we're saying. But if he contributes 15 goals this season, that's already a start. And in Italy, which everybody's saying, oh, well, you know, in France, it's not the same thing. I get it. But when the guy was scoring consistently 25 goals over 4 or 5 seasons at Lille, they're not one of the top teams in France like they are positionally, because he played a big part in that. And they won the league one year because partly of him, right? So
you guys are going to make me make a AJC t-shirt that's David 316, since I just whooped your ass. I hope the first goal he scores, he gives a stone cold stunner to that keeper and just fucking boom.
Well, his celly is he puts his hands to his ears like this, and that dates back to all the years he's been doubted, like growing up and playing. So first goal, he's just going to one of these, and it's just going to continue all season. So like I said, we'll see, but I'm not worried about the attack. I just think we need another body in there. Would be nice to go along with those guys, and then just let them cook, man.
Yeah. I have no concerns there. When it comes to Jonathan David. None. Should Leone be our first preference as a defender, or do you prefer other players? I want Laporte coming in first. I would love to add Leone, and I think we should make a push for Leone, but if it's not there in the plans, then it's not there in the plans. But Laporte, we need experience. We need somebody to be that guy next to Bremer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would very much like Laporte, and left-footed, super experienced, not too old, just the price isn't high. The other name I saw today is Ibrahima Konate from Liverpool, that he's not going to renew his contract and it's over in 2026. So that would be his last contract year. And I think he's a very good defender. I know injury prone, but I get the feeling that everyone today is injury prone. So I would take a shot there too.
Man,
yeah,
I don't know. We got to see where it actually stands. I just read a report they put out on Xhaka that it's going to be 13 million euros. Come on. Come on.
Like
13 to 15 there. Like, what are we talking about? Like, so let's see what they do. But yeah, that would be crazy. But I don't know about that one. I don't know if I'm buying that whole one. That would be something though. Miretti would definitely be nice for rotation player, but I just don't see where he could fit. Maybe a cam position, but other than that, I'm stuck. Yeah, I don't know. Miretti's a funny one in the fan base, and we spent some time today talking about him. Some say he will fit, some say he won't. Like, give guy a chance, don't give a guy a chance. My thing is, either way, whatever you decide, can we come out on the good side of it? Like, why are we still lowballing if he had a good loan season? That's just sell properly if you're gonna sell. But I don't think 15 million. I don't think that's it for Miretti. I mean,
okay,
he's already got over 100 plus games in top flight.
Mm-hmm.
He just put in a season. Yeah. We're about to pay. They want 30 million for Conceição. 4 goals, 3 assists Chico had for us in league play, whatever. At Genoa, Miretti had 3 goals, 3 assists on a loan season. And we are in the wrong for asking, or we are in the right for asking for only 15 million in Italy. I don't agree with that. That's my only thing. If you're going to say goodbye, I want the price to reflect it. That's all I'm going to say on Miretti.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay, so let me ask you a hypothetical.
Sure.
Let's say you need to change a match. Who would you rather bring off the bench, Miretti or Xhaka?
I see Xhaka in a completely different way than I do Miretti. But I'm saying both. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd love to keep Miretti on because I see Xhaka playing in the actual midfield and I see Miretti helping in the advanced role.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think we need to go to an actual 3-5-2. I think you need to go to an actual 3 because I don't really like the fact of not having 3 midfielders in your actual lineup. The problem is when you're doing so, we run it completely different. And I don't know why every fucking coach that comes to Juve runs a 3-5-2 with an offset midfield with one guy advancing out of the side. Forget it. The best 3-5-2 setups are the ones where you actually have one of your third midfielders pumping through from the advanced central role. That gives you more options if you were to bring in Xhaka and you were to keep Miretti, which I'm good with because I've always believed Luiz doesn't want to actually be here. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. So for me, it's like we should be looking at a situation. Miretti doesn't cost us anything. He's ours, boys.
No,
he's ours.
I have no issue keeping him. I have no issue with him being in the roster.
He doesn't stop us from getting Xhaka either.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. If I'm looking at the bench, I have one sub to put in to change the match. I would rather put an experienced guy with some credentials than hoping a youngster will suddenly have the spark we expect. That's my point. But if we get both of them, phenomenal. Keep both of them.
We don't have to get Miretti. He's ours. We have him. That's my whole point. Is like, you've got a midfield that for me is a little bit, it's lacking some dynamism in there. McKennie doesn't have it. Luiz is nowhere near where we all expected. I don't think he wants to be here. So I've written him off because I don't think he wants to be here. I don't. I'd love for him to stay, and I'd love for him to show the player that I believe he actually is and that he was showing in the Prem, but we're not going to get it, boys. Like, I think he wants to go. So you need to find some solutions. You can't buy every player. You can't go out and buy every player. So for
that's just it. Like, you already have him in house, and obviously Tomar's question, like, it would depend on the game and the situation. Like, obviously, who's on the pitch already? Are there people that are looking like they need a rest? But I mean, ultimately, both players can make a difference. But yeah, like in most cases, 9 times out of 10, I think all coaches are going to lean more towards the experienced player over the player that's younger. But that being said, like, there's so much untapped potential with Miretti. And like you said, Berto, I think he proved a lot this season on loan. So it's like, this is exactly what we want. We wanted to loan out our young players to get minutes rather than have them sit on the bench and rot. So we've done that. So now
if we do keep him, I want to see him. That's the thing. If we intend to keep him and then he's just riding the bench for most of the season, never in form, always like cameos, then it's redundant for him and for you.
Yeah. I just think, like, I think I'm willing to give Miretti a chance watching a lot of these other guys struggle in that role, especially Cope Miners. But Cope Miners should be playing further back in the midfield. But overall, as a group, if we were to go into next season and say it was Thuram, Locatelli, Cole Miners, Xhaka, Miretti, and you still kept McKennie around as like a boost. I actually like that midfield group, and I think you could come up with some decent rotation in there. Like I'd be fine if that was the guys, and that only requires for us to do that buying Xhaka at 13 to 15 million.
Yeah.
Do you think, based on the targets, we're better off shifting to a two-man defense?
That's come up quite a bit, and I don't think you'll ever get Tudor to do it, but I mean, would you? Should we? I definitely want Laporte either way. Like, I want somebody to be that next absolutely. Guy. That would be my big question mark. If you're going to two-man back, there's nobody here now. I'd like to give Gatti another run as much as he gets a lot of flack from our fan base. Bremer and Gatti were ridiculous to start the year with Motta. Like, nobody was getting opportunities. Like, I'd be willing to give it a shot. But I still want to see us sign somebody credible, like somebody legit to be in the mix too, because Bremer's going to need time. Like, he's not just going to rip roar. Like, he might not even start for the first handful of games. Like, we don't even know, right? So you got to sign somebody, but to switch to the two-man back, I'm fine either way. I'll be honest.
Because I want the three-man in midfield and the three-man in attack. I don't want to give one up for the defense. That's my issue.
That's fair.
Yeah, and you don't have to play. It doesn't have to be a straight 4-3-3. It could be a 4-3-2-1, and you can have two attacking mids behind the striker that can drift out wide, right? Like interchange.
And I should like elaborate. Like, I hate the two-man midfield like a lot of the time in this 3-4-2-1, but not always. Like, in the games where you're gonna control and you're going to be dominating the ball, I'm fine with just two of them out there and put more attack because you want to break that team down, right? You want to put them under. I'm fine with that. But in some of the more, 50-50 style games that you're going to be playing, like when we went in Club World Cup and we didn't have three midfielders against like City, against like Madrid, I'm like, that's going to hurt you.
Yeah, it was felt. It's definitely felt that we need another one. Like, we
so I think it's a game to game type thing. And to be honest, Tudor should not have one rigid, like, this is it, be all end all. So hopefully we can mix it up. Let's see. We got some more coming in here. Miretti just seems to be a hot one right now. But we've got, should we loan Adzic for 1 season in Serie A? If he remains at Juve, he will not have much playing time. Yeah, this is one that I think, we've all been talking about for a while, Adzic, and I think it's a shame last season that he didn't get more reps, especially like we were talking about, one of the guys failing in that position, when it comes natural to him. He should have had more reps. I don't want to see him get a loan to like Serie B. It's got to be in the top flight. So find him a loan, but send him on loan if he's not going to get minutes for us, and we're just going to keep doing the same thing because it's not helping him grow. And he's too good for next gen. Every time he goes to next gen, he lights it up. It would be like sticking Kenan Yildiz back there. Not that he's at the level of Yildiz. Yildiz is obviously advanced for him, but when he goes to next gen, even Miretti was way too good for next gen. It was doing nothing for him to sit there. So these guys need top flight loans. Adzic.
That's an easy loan. I don't see him getting any minutes, especially if Miretti stays and the amount of players, and you add Sancho. I just don't see him getting any minutes. So loan to Serie A, and to a team that actually plays a system where he can play his favorite position.
Yeah, Trim, you're good with a loan?
Yeah, I would even extend it. I wouldn't say just in Serie A. Like, I mean, if there's another club in a top league,
top flight,
like just so that he plays, like second division and across Europe, like, no, we need him in a top flight league, at least getting minutes, and go from there.
Juve concluded only on David. Are we already late to get our preferred players? If not, who should we get until the last day of the Mercato to be in a position to challenge in all competitions? Like I said, for me, it's It's going to be experience. Get a couple experienced players. I think a lot, even when I look back to last season, like 24, what was it? 26 points surrendered from winning positions.
Yeah, 9 draws. Yeah.
The majority of what we have to do is actually in-house. That means the guys that were around last season put us in a position to have enough points to take the title last year. To have more than enough points to take the title last year. I don't think it's as far away. Like, we need to make the smart pickups, the right pickups. A major overhaul might not actually be needed. The biggest question mark is going to be the performances and the play and Tudor. Mota was the biggest detriment last season. I stand firm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely get me Laporte, Xhaka, and let's see, some other interesting name for the attack. I'm even willing to go the Sancho route and a fullback, either left or right. Someone, because you have Cambiaso and you can play with him, and I'm good. That's it. The rest is just like you said, in
Who tops your list for fullbacks right now out of the guys we've heard? Trim?
Tavares.
Omer?
Tavares, Nuno.
I like Tavares too, but I'd go probably Gutierrez.
I'd say those are the top two, Gutierrez and Tavares. We got to see. It's going to take around 30 million for Tavares. Might have a little bit of a better situation around Gutierrez. I don't know that 100%. We just got to see, but those are the top two for sure. Up till now, has Tudor impressed you as being the right coach for Juventus?
Well, I have seen some stuff that needs to be better, but overall, the type of approach I saw, considering the shitty situation he got himself into mid-season, I am kind of impressed. I mean, I enjoyed watching Juve more. It was more of a risk-based, and that was a depleted squad with tons of injuries, and it still managed to come up good, in my opinion. So I think there's room to grow. There are mistakes to be fixed, but I am curious. I think it's going to surprise some people this season. I'm not saying like definite Scudetto or whatever, but an easier ride than last season would be my guess.
Trim.
Yeah, I think for me it's still to be determined. There's still a lot to be desired, but at the same time, he's put in some good work. So he's kind of somewhere in the middle right now. I want to see how this season starts to play out. Obviously, getting targets, like players acquisition, will make a big difference in helping him, but I want to see how he deals with the roster at the beginning of the season and kind of goes through the first initial part of it and see kind of ups and downs and how he approaches everything. But for what we've seen, even through a Club World Cup, like there were really good moments, but then there were a couple of ugly games towards the end, which is why we crashed out. So he's somewhere in between, but I think it's still premature to say, is he the right man for Juve? Because I'd lean more towards no. But who's another option? Yeah. There isn't one right now.
I have some things I like about him, and I have some things I don't like about him. As far as making the decision on him just yet, it's been too small a sample size. But at the moment, I do feel out of the options that were available to us, he is the route I would have carried forward into this season. So I just hope for the things that I haven't liked, he can correct them and start getting them right. And a lot of it is just in-game management that I feel has been lacking. And hopefully he gets it right. And as he gets used to the players, as we get him a team, as we get a training camp, because he just came into an absolute storm, that's not the easiest of scenarios too. And then you're going to a Club World Cup and you're running into teams that are oiled machines and you're still fresh on the job with a lot of guys that have uncertainty around their futures. Yeah, like there's a lot there that we should give him a little bit of slack on the leash for. So let's just see. What's the biggest mistake the last 5 years, in your opinion? Ooh.
Okay, so I would say we can go the signing Mota route. Some would even say signing Allegri. But the worst moment for me, the moment I hated Juve the most, was signing Paredes. That's absolutely the worst one for me.
That's the biggest mistake the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, Trivy.
Yeah.
What's your biggest mistake of the last 5 years, in your opinion?
This is tough because there's so many ways we can go that I actually really liked Omar's. That's pretty good. So not to hate on the guy, but I think for me it was bringing back Max, because that's kind of where it all started. It was how should I say this? Instead of not just specifically bringing back Max, it was the indecision to hiring Pirlo, sacking Pirlo, and then bringing Max back. Pirlo won a trophy. Again, I know it didn't look that great either, but like I would have liked to see at least another season, or give him the start of the following season to see what could have come out of that. I think we had our head above water at that point, weren't fully sinking just yet, and it was just like that boom, boom, quick decision. Like Sadi had to go, so you bring Pirlo in, and then yeah, that's kind of where it started for me.
I gotta, for me, I got. It's not so much. I can never throw it down on like one person per se for like how these 5 years have gone, or like a player, or et cetera, whatever. Cause like for me, everything's circling back now, full tilt. And some of it does tie into what you guys have even brought up too, because it's just the sheer panic that we seemingly ran into and started to operate with, and like uncertainty, the lack of clarity, lack of transparency, just all of us for 5 years wondering, what is the fucking plan here? Like, that to me just goes to The Office. And I would say that the biggest mistake has been that the guys that are supposed to be, steering this ship have completely lost the plot. And there was no proper intervention. There was no proper minds, and like it just became scattered. So for me, it's all at the top. Agnelli kind of lost sight of things, and I think he was taken for granted what was going on with that 9-year reign in Serie A. But he started looking bigger, started focusing on other things, and maybe lost sight of some things in-house. And sadly, when that got broken up, the right guys were just not there. We got Temps in, and Elkan is just, you know what, man, you've always been from afar and looking after the money. That's fine. But the front office has failed tremendously. For me, the biggest mistake is just the guys that, if we would have jumped in with the right guys at that time, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. But we brought in numbers guys, focused on numbers, and way too much. And it was just like, what's the point of having something like Exor behind you? Because everybody says the same thing. Well, over this past stretch of period of time, they put in like 800 million, almost $1 billion. That's great. You know what that means to them? That's like me reaching into my pocket and pulling out a 10. Juve is 2% of Exor's total corporate umbrella. That's it. Like, maybe you don't get the guys that are just focused solely on number. Maybe get a fucking football guy in at that time. Someone that understands shit, that knows shit, that can help with all of it. So for me, the biggest mistake is the follow-up after Agnelli.
I think the most obvious one is going for Mota instead of Conte. But would even Conte have succeeded in that environment with his antics? Or would it have gone?
Our office would have still been a fuck show.
Yeah.
And now it's up to Camoli. He's got his work cut out for him. So let's see. But But it's interesting to see where everybody lands on that one, man. Like, there's a lot. And there's still a lot of Storm the Barns. But, man, we've gone overtime, everybody. Jeez. There's a lot going on. The Mercado is not going to change. So, for people that get fired up over rumors, everything like that, we just got to, hey, take the time, pump the brakes. We love talking about the hypotheticals, but let's see. We don't judge Camoli until we see some stuff done. Some are already calling him cannoli. I love a good cannoli, okay? So nothing wrong with that. You're going to call him cannoli? Hey, it is what it is. Love a good cannoli. But let's see. Let's see where things land. Maybe we get some signings coming out pretty quick. Things all of a sudden picking up for Jadon Sancho. Mirko Di Natale says new contacts. I don't want the guy. I'm going to be quite honest, everybody. I'll accept him if Chico remains, but I don't really want Jadon Sancho. I don't want, are we taking on someone else's problem? What? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And Romano, meanwhile, combated everybody, saying that there's been, all he said, though, was there's no formal offer. There has been no bid from Juventus, and they didn't like the salary. However...
Well, he flipped today. Like today did say there were contacts, and so...
Well, he flipped yesterday, starting to say, no, they've talked and everything. He's just like, there's been no bids. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. But everybody knows, Man U and Sancho, and that's what I've been telling everybody, is like, they have to figure out their own bullshit first. It's the same situation that we're going through with Dusan, they're going through with Sancho. Like, they got to clear that... They got to clear that severance and everything. But let's see. Thank you for the super chat. Do you guys think next season the bad era ends? Yes or no?
Oh,
Does bad era end?
I hope so. Yes.
I'm going
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I say yes. Look at this, though. Seasiders, new subscriber, English, fed up with the Premier League. Used to love to watch Football Italia on Sunday. Loved Del Piero and Tacchinardi. Reigniting my passion for Juve. You got yourself the right damn channel, I'll tell you that. So let's rock and roll. Everybody should be giving up on the Prem. Screw the Prem. God damn.
By the way, can I give a compliment to the fan base? If there's one thing we're best at, is giving nicknames to players and managers who flop. I absolutely love the nicknames everyone who flops gets at Juve. So credit to the chat, Poop Miners, Shushan, all those names. I absolutely love it. We're the best at it.
Shout out to Sean, who joined our AJC army, the private chat and everything, on Vlahovic. Why hasn't that come up until that army chat? And he's acting like a Vlahovic. You know what? That was probably the best one I heard. But on that note, we end it right there on Vlahovic. You guys, let's see what Camoli can do. But now's the time for housekeeping, and he's got his work cut out for him. Fantastic live. You guys are always the best, second to none. Please drop a like on your way out here. A lot of work for Juve to do, but it's more just cleaning up the roster, making some space. I just want to see some experience come in and help these guys. I do believe in the youngsters we have. Barca, keep dreaming when it comes to Yildiz. He ain't going anywhere. Yildiz, Thuram, Di Gregorio, Bremer, Locatelli, Jonathan David, I will say, will form a spine for this Juve. We will be a better side. We will be a better side. Tudor has got some questions to answer, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to the season no matter what, but I say we got some interesting pickups that could still come. Let's see what Camoli brings. He's a wild card. Are there going to be names that we haven't even heard? I say yes. I say you might get 2 signings that nobody's even touched on, and it's July 12th. Let's see. But Alberto? No. He stays. Non si tocca. See, you guys? Chat. We told you guys are the best. All those hashtags, Berto out. Look at what you did. Look at what you did.
Too much influence. Too much influence.
Too much power. You get the power. Then you get the money, get the respect, and then you get the women. Scarface. Okay, but you guys, hashtag Berto out. Now they're selling Costa. What have you done? What have you done? I'm not going to All Sporting Cast. I'll tell you that. Hey. Enjoy your weekends. Been a fun show. Omer, Trim, always an absolute pleasure. You guys, take care. Ciao, ciao. And fino alla fine, forza Juventus.